his head is sipping bowls. All we really ever know is each feeling is Felipe.
Have you learned anything interesting about this group on this field trip? And if so, what is that? Let's walk and talk.
I've learned on this field trip that a lot of the time you can't really like work with everyone at the same, like if you want to, but you kind of have to, and everybody's personality kind of just meets up whether you like it or not. But it usually works out pretty good. John,
Yes,
I have a question for you. What were you thinking during the most challenging, like physically, parts of the hikes?
Ah, excellent question. When things got really challenging, I would say like day 2, that's the day I always think is the hardest. I just kept thinking, keep moving, keep them moving. Let them rest enough to recover, but keep them moving. And everybody's capable of everything we set out for in our itinerary, so I had faith that we could make it happen. So.
Hey, John.
Hi, Amaya. What's been the most challenging part of the trip for you so far?
Oh gosh. Well, I'd say the most challenging part would have been the mental, I guess, aspect of going up these really, really like intense switchbacks and stuff, and like just up these huge hills. And you know, when you're halfway up there and you're like, you just have to, like, you're gonna have to get up this hill at one point. So for me, it was hard mentally because I was like, I had to push myself to keep on going. And yeah, that was definitely a challenge, but we got through it. So yeah. Hi Nona, how you doing back there? All right, I got a question for you. Let me see. Okay, do you think this trip is more mentally or physically challenging? And then what would you say to someone who's concerned about going on the Grand Canyon field trip?
Alright, so it's both mentally and physically challenging, but I would say the mentally challenging part is harder, definitely, than the physically challenging part. And for someone who is going to come on the Grand Canyon, I would say try to prepare as much as you can, both mentally and physically, but also not to worry because it's super fun, and in the moment it's not as bad as it seems, or hard. Alright, Hussein?
Hello.
I have a question. What has been your, favorite part of this trip so far?
I got you. It was probably day 6. We got to go on a day hike. We went all the way to the Colorado River, and we got to swim in there. And also, on the way back, there was a waterfall. It was such a nice waterfall. Chris, Gus, and I just stayed in there, and we had a lot of fun. That was definitely my best moment. Hi, Jenny.
Yes, hi.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Would you recommend this trip to other people, and why?
Okay. Hi. And I would definitely recommend this trip to other people because I feel like I learned a lot from this trip. For example, I learned the value of grit, perseverance, cooperation, carefulness, and yeah, a lot of things. I feel like, in this trip, I kind of learned the natural process, the natural circle and process, with the sunrise, sunset, and the 4 seasons changing. I feel it's really cool with the sun and the shadows of the whole Grand Canyon thing. And I knew a lot of people from this trip, and I knew them better. Yeah, that's a pretty cool one, and I just really love this trip, and I hope everyone else can also join us. Hi Nam!
Hi.
How do you feel?
How do I feel?
Yes.
About what?
About the
what?
trip.
Good?
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you, what is the most interesting part that you would consider in this whole trip?
What part do I think the most interesting?
Yeah.
The part that I find the most interesting is just how the group works so well together, because we definitely, each of us have different pace. Like my pace is definitely really different compared to everyone else on the trip, but everyone else is just really understanding, and just seeing a group of people who none of us are really super close with each other from the first place, but just seeing how we all work together so well really fascinates me. And especially like the scenery is really incredibly beautiful, and yeah. Okay, hi Max.
Hi.
What part do you find the most mentally challenging on this field trip?
So the most challenging for the mentally is the day 2, I think, because firstly, day 2 we have a long distance hiking, and the road is so steep, and sometimes you are going to feel like you are going to fall down during the road, especially at the end of the trip. We don't have enough water to drink, and I have run off all of my water, and it's so hard for me, and the road is going to become steep, and but I thought at that time we are in a group, and almost the strongest people, they can't go forward to the group, and the weakest people, they can't lose the group. So everyone should be in the group, although you are tired both physically and mentally, but I fought over and keep on going, and then we end up this trip. So Wilson, what is your favorite part of this trip?
My favorite car?
Favorite part?
Oh. My favorite part of this trip has been sleeping under Zoroaster Temple. That thing right there. Hey Gus,
Yeah.
what's your favorite phrase in a different language that you've learned on this trip?
Alright, so there are 2 people who speak French here, and they are Hussein and Amaya. And we were having kind of a conversation about music, because we all miss music. There's a certain song called Rico by Drake featuring Meek Mill. And there's a line that is, "The girl of your dreams to me is probably not a challenge." And that translates to, "La fille de ton rêve à moi n'est probablement pas un défi." Yo, Chris, if you were to recommend this trip to a friend, why would you, and what would you say?
Got you. Yeah, I would recommend this trip to a friend, because my friends are crazy and they're whack, and I'd love to see them nearly die, because I know it'd be funny. It's good memories, good memory type stuff. So yeah, that's why I would recommend it. Bonsoir.
Visions